Hi everyone, I'm Gretchen Heido, Master Certified Coach, and today I want to talk to you about your feelings. I know, it's the other F word. Have you ever felt troubled by your feelings, or have you had the idea that feelings are a problem that need to be fixed? Me too. In our Western culture, we've really been programmed to believe that feelings that are peaceful, joyful, or easy are something that we want to avoid. So many of us are constantly searching for ways to feel happy all of the time. We're chasing it, we're reading stories about it, and we're trying to figure out why we don't feel it. And while there's nothing wrong with going on a quest to feel happy or serene, I'd like to help you explore the truth about that big ugly F word, feelings. So here's the deal. Feelings are here to teach you something, the good and the bad. When you slow down enough to actually feel a feeling instead of rushing through it, you're going to be able to see that your current situation, the seemingly uncomfortable, the seemingly bad, is actually serving you. It's crazy, right? Because we all like good feelings and we want more of them. And the way to those good feelings is to understand some of those so-called bad feelings. Feeling uncomfortable, anxious, upset, angry, sad, mad, rejected, depressed, sneaky, abandoned, not good enough, or simply not enough are all feelings that are here to help you grow so that you can live in a space of real contentment. And when we're saying happiness, it's really the contentment and satisfaction that we're looking for. So let's do this. But the first thing is this. You're gonna have to take a moment to stop, to sit in the uncomfortability of your feeling and ask yourself, what does this feeling remind me of? When our emotions are heated and we're feeling body sensations, maybe, a frantically beating heartbeat or a swishing noise in our ears or pressure in our chest, a tight throat, stomach ache, those are all your feelings that have been trapped and that are trying to get your attention so that you can listen and attend to them. So our body gives us those body cues, and it's actually a really good guide to getting in touch with your feelings. Remember this, the bigger the feeling, the greater the opportunity for healing. Let me give you an example of my own life. Recently, I was so angry at my husband because he changed plans on something that was supposed to be fun that we were going to do. It felt super nonchalant the way that he did it, and I created a story that he didn't care. I was so upset. I actually haven't been this upset in a long time. I had a stomach ache, a racing heart, the swishing in my ears, and I could not calm myself down on the inside. I was so stuck in the story that he didn't care, which made me feel rejected, and then rejected made me feel abandoned. And then my solution was I needed an immediate divorce. In the past, I would have stayed in that feeling all day, maybe even for many days. I would have agonized over what he did, and I would have played out the scenarios in my head about us splitting up. What's going to happen to the kids? What about the money? Should we sell the house? And each time the feeling would get bigger. This is a loop, and whenever you're in a loop, it makes you angrier, sadder, and it doesn't help you to get through to the other side. I was so stuck in this loop that I felt self-righteous, and I really wanted to punish my husband for causing me to feel all of these things. But here's the deal. With all the work that I've done and being a coach and all the self-discovery, I know better. And I've taken my clients through a lot of great steps to be able to get to the other side, and I knew I needed to do it for myself. So here's a process today that I'm going to teach you. You ready to have some fun? The next time you find yourself stuck in a story, a feeling, or a loop, I want you to see if you can take the following 5 steps. First step, slow things down. Feelings can take us out. They put us on high alert. Our brain and body go into survivor mode, which causes us to either do fight, flight, or freeze. And when we do that, it's all in the form of protection. When you notice this happening, you might get a body cue first. Put your hand on that part of your body that's having the sensation and just breathe into it. Close your eyes and turn off the rest of the stimulation from the outside world. It will help to allow your body and your mind to slow down. It's going to be uncomfortable because the survivor part of your brain and your mind has the instinct that's telling you you need to do something. There's no time to breathe. There's no time to feel your heart. get to it. But by doing this, you are doing something. You're allowing yourself to feel the full range of your feeling instead of just the top of your feeling. So think of that first feeling as the base feeling. It's up here, but we've got all of these other feelings underneath that we need to really take a look at. So your base feeling is going to show up as primal feelings like anger, sadness, hysteria, panic. You feel it, fill in the blank. Second step, ask yourself, what about this feeling is familiar? Your initial feeling is masking a larger feeling that's underneath, that's tapping into something usually from the past. That's what we want to get to release that actual trigger point. You're looking for the story or the memory that this feeling touches. So, what about this is familiar? What is it touching? Your current heightened situation is feeling that way because you hit a trigger point. So in my case, the trigger point that was hit was that I was supposed to go and do something fun with my dad when I was a kid, and he took my mom instead. And so when my husband ended up telling me that he was canceling, it took me back to being that little girl. Step 3, when's the first time you felt the feeling under the initial feeling? What happened? So for me, I was 9. I was ready to go to the concert. My dad took my mom, even though he promised me he'd take me. And as they walked out the door, I felt terrible. So even though in the moment with the fight with my husband, where I thought divorce was the only option, I was having this huge reaction because of something that happened to me when I was 9. And that feeling of rejection and abandonment and not being enough had all been activated. When you can get under the base of that initial feeling and find the real feeling, the real memory, the real trigger, the root, this is the raw emotion that's gotten stuck. Step 4, just notice it, look at it, examine the story. So when I could drop into that 9-year-old self, I could see that the story wasn't really about today. Yes, I was annoyed. I didn't like that he had canceled the plans in such a nonchalant way. But my big feeling and the need to fight, freeze, or flight was really more about something historical. It was about that younger self. So when you are noticing, figure out, what is your younger self trying to show you? My younger self was trying to protect me from ever feeling abandoned again. And the thought of divorce was the only way that I could do that. If I leave you, you can't leave me, so I'm just going to get this over with. And here's the thing, our younger self is just that. They're young, their voice is shouting at us for us to listen, and the solutions they provide us are typically limited due to their age and lack of knowledge. So as an adult, as our most healed self, we probably don't need that divorce, but we're taking our cues from a younger version of who we are. Step 5, attend to your younger self. As the adult you are today, what does she or he need? A hug, a break, calmness, acceptance, someone to validate that yes, that sucked, it was hard. Whatever it is, give it to yourself. Ask what they need. In my case, I needed to tell my younger self that yes, that did happen when you were 9 and it wasn't right, but that I was good enough all along, and that with my husband, it was actually a different situation and that there was some miscommunication that had happened and I just time traveled. Finally, always allow yourself to feel. Tears move our feelings through our body and make room for new feelings. And the bigger we get and the bigger our container for feelings, the deeper capacity for us to find that happiness and contentment that we're looking for. So remember this, as an adult, you're safe physically and that you can embody safety as well. That's helpful. Putting your hand on your heart and saying, I am safe and I am safe will help you to regulate that internal system that is afraid. We've all made it to this exact point where we are today. Our feelings, our stories, they're going to keep looping until we slow down, stop and listen, and let them get unstuck. Instead of being afraid or avoiding the big feelings, start to allow yourself the greatest gift you can by tapping into them to see what it is that they're trying to tell you. Take the time to listen and respond. That's the way to get to stand more firmly in that joy and contentment that you're searching for. Life's a roller coaster, my friends, and don't we know it? Knowing that our feelings are here to help us and heal us and communicate to us is a perspective that's going to help you take ownership of your life and your feeling state. From Eckhart Tolle, whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you've chosen it. We can learn and thrive from our feelings.